Hi, Barbara. We're at CES. It's January 2023. You're with Moderna.
That's correct.
Tell me what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm Barbara Salami, and I tell everybody as in salami and cheese.
Okay.
I'm Vice President of Digital for Commercial, and what that essentially means is I work closely with the business to identify enterprise products, services, and platforms that enable them sell our products and make things easier for patients, healthcare providers, essentially making it better and easier for the ecosystem.
Very good. I'm a healthcare provider and consumer.
That's awesome.
In my arm are 4 Moderna vaccinations.
That's
very
great.
proud of what you have created in your company and very proud how you've served our health system. That must be a fun part of your job and make your team work very effectively at Moderna. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I would say, kudos to the amazing scientists who are colleagues of mine at Moderna. They are relentless, courageous, and curious, right, and really willing to bring the best products to market to make the greatest impact for patients around the world. So from my perspective as a colleague of theirs, the role that I had to do and my team has to do is to make sure that as the clinical innovation happens and we begin to get more products into our pipeline, that we actually are really working closely with communities. And again, this is a broader ecosystem of the patients, their caregivers, providers like yourself, and even payers and governments to make sure that our products, it's very clear and they understand the details about our products through digital technology, that they're able to access the products. And this one is a really important piece for me in terms of how we think about equitable access and inclusive design that makes it truly easy for every single person globally who really wants our products to get access to them.
Very good. We're in the digital health and wellness section here at CES, and Moderna is a perfect example of what digital health and wellness is all about. Tell me about building a team there and what your average day is like with your team.
Yeah, so I think we have taken a very different approach from what you would expect from a traditional biotech. We really consider ourselves a digital biotechnology company. And as it pertains to building a team, I think we've been very deliberate about, first and foremost, finding individuals who share very common mindsets as we have as a culture, because irrespective of your expertise, if you really don't have that mindset of being a doer, one who is really obsessed about making things great for patients, and also one who believes that the impossible can be made possible, then you really wouldn't fit into our culture. So that's one area that's really important for us as we go through the process of building a team. The other part is, I am a leader in digital, is really making sure that I do have individuals who have the expertise and knowledge and are willing to also learn, because technology really progresses, as you know, very fast, and things evolve, and that curiosity and willingness to learn so that we continue to leverage technology, data, and intelligence in the best way possible is a key part of what we do when we're screening and looking for talent. In terms of a day in the life of, there is no single day that's the same. Every day is different. Yes, I love the challenge, and I think everyone else who is part of the organization does as well. You come in, so I could describe my days. I come in and sometimes it's a challenge around data and analytics, and then I have to work with my colleagues to basically begin to think about how we get access to the information to help the business. Sometimes it's really a new challenge or a customer need that we've identified, and really bringing a team and huddling across the organization to talk about what exactly is the need, how do we really design a product that they love and that works for them, and ultimately how do we make sure that we can get it into market as quickly as possible. And sometimes it's really more of taking a pause and thinking longer term about our pipeline, for instance, and essentially how we begin to design right now so that in the future we are really delivering products that have already health equity baked into their design.
Very good. a company that's changing that quickly, you must have personnel that need to change rapidly. What are opportunities for career development and professional development within Moderna?
So the beautiful thing about Moderna is young, Moderna is growing really fast, and we actually have, I think, a mindset that I really love at Moderna is we all act as owners. So what that essentially means is that you aren't always confined to the role you are hired into, which essentially means if you see opportunities across the aisles in places where there's opportunity, you can tap in and start, you can step in and start helping. And there's really a lot of opportunity to move from different areas. And I've seen that. I've been at Moderna for 2.5 years. The job I was hired to do day one is definitely not the job I'm doing today. And it's one where I continue to grow, I continue to learn, and have opportunities to really pivot and partner with other areas. So as long as the individual is willing, there are multiple opportunities. And then when you start thinking about, I fundamentally believe that growth comes from a lot of doing, and Moderna is a place where you get to do and you get to learn and you get to dream and make it happen. It can happen if you can dream about it. But the other piece too is with learning are some really deliberate plans we have basically to really upskill the entire organization. So from thinking about how you really help build managers who empower their teams. We have programs that our organization is beginning to roll out. We have an amazing AI Academy, which is really interesting. Every single individual within the organization is expected to do that. And we continue to have lots of opportunities to essentially take external courses if needed. So Moderna is really built around the culture of learning. Another mindset of ours is we obsess over learning. And so everything that we can do to really build the right types of leaders for the future is where we invest when it comes to learning.
Very good. And so then let's talk about the future of Moderna and the future of people who may want a career there. With a biotech company that is growing, has a very important role in the future of healthcare, and is part of digital health and wellness for the world.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, I want to know what a future career looks like for someone who's considering working at Moderna.
At Moderna. So I think the opportunities are limitless. You can, if you think about, and you can, Moderna obviously as an organization has opportunities for individuals with different levels of expertise. Whether you're new out of college and really want to dip your toes into advanced, data analytics or how to build products, there are opportunities within Moderna. If you're truly a leader who wants to come in and really bring in a lot of your expertise around how we build commercial organizations, or ultimately how you engage better with customers, or drive more efficient and advanced manufacturing. All of those roles are available. The piece I will add to that too is that we're also an organization that truly believes in being inclusive, and diversity is a really important piece for Moderna. So I think Moderna right now, I'm proud to say we've hit like a 50% female, 50% male ratio within our entire organization. We continue to grow in terms of a racially diverse population as well. And so all the roles we talk about are open to everyone. So I think that's another really important piece, just to highlight that we're super dedicated and committed to making sure that we continue to build an organization that looks like the patients in the world that we really want to have an impact on.
Very good. And in this world, we're getting to the end of the pandemic. Health equity is a really important topic. The products that you make are somewhat the ultimate in health equity products.
Yes.
We need cures, we need prevention, we need the ability to prevent terrible diseases from occurring. How important is health equity to the DNA and RNA of Moderna?
It is deeply, I'm going to say this, it's deeply ingrained. And I personally am super passionate about this. I grew up in Nigeria, so I got to see firsthand the ills of a lot of these conditions and diseases and how they ravage like whole communities. And it was really interesting growing up in Nigeria. There was this thing called the African grade, which essentially means it probably wasn't as good. It was not, it was a product that wasn't the gold standard or something that really was not being used elsewhere. And, what I love about Moderna is that from the inception of the organization, before I even joined, I think that was a really big piece about how our leadership and our CEO thought about the world. How do we ensure that every single individual, patient, family who needs access to our therapy can get it and get the same as the rest of the world, right? So this idea of true equitable access is a piece that is really a common thread across the entire organization, whether it's how we think about R&D, whether it's how we manufacture and where we manufacture, to ensure that the products we develop are accessible in the communities, and then also how we really think about those like social economic factors that also play a critical role in access, whether it's racial and age. So these are all really important pieces, and I'm super proud. And one of the reasons I'm super proud to be at Moderna is because it is a fundamental principle and value, and I wouldn't be any place else.
Very good. Infectious diseases and cancer are diseases that impact all types of people on the planet.
Yeah.
I think we have learned through COVID that an infection that begins in one place can travel the planet in lightning time, and prevention that we have to do really is global as well. How does that build into a company that's based in America that has a DNA that says we will be worldwide responsive, and yet pressing needs are in front of you in one area or the other? How do you begin to make sure that you're addressing the issues that are globe-wide?
That are global. I think it really just starts being very deliberate, and it comes again to this idea of inclusive design from the very beginning. When you start thinking about how you build and support for everyone at the beginning, it makes it easier to have those global plans. Now, as for Moderna and our pipeline, we recognize that certain modalities and conditions as well are probably scenarios where you would have them more predominant in certain areas versus not. And so we're also very conscious of that, and when we think about our trials and where we're having trials to make sure that we get the right profiles for our products, but also build and instill trust in those communities. That is another piece that's really important. In terms of the other piece around global, we continue to have a very deliberate target in terms of how we expand, working with COVAX and Gavi, and these are a lot of the World WHO, the World Health Organization, that are all really keen on making sure that we're always thinking about the global impact and implications of the work we're doing. So I would say that globalization for us is not performative. It's definitely a core fabric of how we think about it. And so when we talk about delivering the greatest impact to people through our mRNA medicines, we recognize that it's everyone everywhere. And so our design is very deliberate from that standpoint.
It sounds like you're very proud of your company, and you should be proud of where they have gone over the last 3 years, and the global stage that has really wanted leadership like Moderna to be creating better products and then to set the stage for future products. You must be very proud, and that's part of a health equity, diversity and inclusive-ness that we need within the health system, and we're seeing here today in the CES show. So
absolutely. I am, I tell everyone, I wish, my opportunity at Moderna was much sooner, but I'm super excited as to, where we are, and I'm super excited to be on the journey, and, I'm super proud and would, continue to be a strong advocate,
Okay.
of Moderna.
10 years from now, this CES show will be here. What are you going to be talking about in 10 years, personally and with the company?
10 years from now, if I were here, and I would be here, let's say we're here, from the perspective of personal, I would be talking about how our products are now accessible to everyone in the world. And if we're talking about it from the broader perspective of where I am as Moderna, I think we'll be talking about how we have truly redefined the way the world treats, cures, prevents diseases through our therapies, and personalized cancer. The personalized cancer vaccine across multiple types will actually be in market. And even broader than that would be the actual realization of a one-to-one therapy across other areas, other modalities. So I think it would be how we've been able to make personalized medicine a reality and not a conversation. How we've actually used digital technology to really scale our reach across the world, and ultimately how we're beginning to tackle other therapeutic areas that everyone else once thought was impossible.
Thank you for sharing those ideas, and I hope we're together in 10 years talking about the successes of those programs. So thanks for sharing your time today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.